Alyssa, one of your academic coaches, and today we are going to be learning about tips for Greenway. A little bit of background on the Greenway software. It is an electronic health record system. You guys may also see it in your classroom referred to as McGraw-Hill, Connect, IEHR. All of those are still the same program. So today we will cover issues with logging in, problems with slow connection, and then we will talk about those three different modes: the demo, the practice, and the test modes. The first thing that I have here is the phone number to the McGraw-Hill Help Desk. This phone number is 800-331-5094. This is just another resource for you guys to be able to call if you have any additional questions, if it's after hours, if I'm not available. And then they will give you a ticket number. Make sure that you do write down that ticket number for future reference. Now, there have to be 5 background softwares up to date and running in order for Greenway to operate smoothly. These 5 background softwares are free to download. There is a way for you to see if you do have these softwares. So this is your control panel. Under your control panel, you can find programs and features. And then it's going to give you a listing of all of your programs under uninstall or change a program. So here's where you can see if you have all the required listings for your software. I will give you a moment to copy down these background software URLs. You can also find them in your classroom under weekly materials, week 1, presentation materials. And it will give you a full listing of all the background softwares necessary. So after you have these background softwares downloaded, you will actually have to go in and configure your Windows Media Player Firefox plugin to work in Firefox. So I will now show you what this looks like. Here is my home screen of Firefox. In the search or inner address bar, I'm going to type about:config. I'm then going to press enter. A pop-up box comes up that says this might void your warranty. You want to click I'll be careful, I promise. This gives you a full listing of all your preference names. Now your cursor does default to the search bar. In the search bar, you're going to type in plugins.load, and this is the entire preference name. Plugins.load _app_dir_plugins. The automatic default for the value is to be false. You want to double click this line when highlighted blue to change your value to true. Once you have done this, you want to X out of your Firefox browsing session, go back in, and you should be able to hear sound in Greenway. Here are the steps for you on the screen. Open your Firefox. In the address bar, type about:config. You will get that pop-up warning saying this may void your warranty. You will click I'll be careful, I promise. This is the full plugin name for you to type in the search field, and then you want to change the value from false to true. At this point, you should have all your softwares up to date and running in Greenway to operate smoothly. There are a couple things that you do want to make sure. You do want to make sure that you are using Firefox as your browser. At this point, Mozilla Firefox is the best browser to work with Greenway. Also, if you did see that you needed to make any upgrades, do make sure that you use those using Firefox. You cannot use another browser. And once you have made those upgrades, you do want to close all the browser pages and then reopen Firefox. Also, in many cases, the Greenway software is split between 2 courses. With that being said, you will have to re-sign in for your second course under your new instructor. So on the sign-in page of Greenway, you do want to make sure that the class name and date corresponds with your current class. It is important to bookmark your current class, not an older class. So these bookmarks are going to only be good for the 5 weeks that you are in the course. And like I said before, depending on your class, you may have to re-register in the Greenway software. You will not have to use that access code again, but you will have to use your email and password. And now I know you're thinking, well, where do I find the place to re-register? Well, you can do this in your classroom. On Blackboard, in the classroom, under Weekly Materials on the left-hand side toolbar, you will click on Weekly Materials, Week 1, Presentation Materials. There will be a box that says Accessing Connect, and you will click here to access Connect, and it will take you to where you register for your new course. As you saw before, there are 5 softwares that have to be up to date and running, so sometimes the online website is very slow. If you are not patient, or if you do have slow connection, over-clicking can result in a lower test grade. Even if you are clicking on the exact same spot, the Greenway software will count only the last click correct. So you do want to make sure that you do give the computer an opportunity to catch up with you. Sometimes it doesn't automatically read your click, and if you click on items multiple times, you will be unable to finish the whole test. The good news is, before you get to the test, you do have demo and practice modes to get a feel for the program. While taking the test, you do want to make sure that you are reading the directions carefully. Like we said before, there are only a limited number of clicks that you can make, and if you do click on the wrong thing, it will count against you. Now there are a few quick tips for Greenway success. We are about to go into detail about the demo, the practice, and the test modes, but the demo and practice exercises you can repeat as many times as you wish. So definitely use that to your advantage. I also cannot stress enough that you have to do the demo and the practice modes before you take the test. And make your book your best friend. Your book does lay out step by step for you what you're asked to do on the screen. So use your book as well as those on-screen text prompts to figure out what Greenway is asking. Another thing is pay close attention to using the tab key versus the enter key. Greenway really likes using the tab key. That was actually something that I really had to get used to. I always wanted to press enter to confirm my entry, but in this software it is the tab key, which again, using your book, it does tell you that. And always click on the chevron, not the word. When you're given the option for a drop-down menu box, you do want to make sure that you're clicking right on the arrow for the drop-down, not the whole box. Greenway is very picky when it comes to its clicks. So now let's talk about the 3 different modes. Like I said before, we have a demo, a practice, and a test mode. So demo mode is the first mode of each simulated exercise. What you can expect in this mode is you're going to watch a task being completed in Prime Suite, which is also another word for Greenway. There's absolutely no clicking required to complete the steps. I do advise that you follow along with the steps in the book. And information boxes will sometimes appear after a step has been performed. You will need to click the right arrow at the bottom of the box to advance to the next step once you have read the information. And all these boxes are doing is helping explain why a task is being performed, why the computer is doing what it's doing. You can use the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen to pause or stop the demo. You will also hear audio narration of the steps. The good news is, as long as you watch this mode from start to finish, it's a grade of 100%. So demo mode is a completion grade. So again, I cannot stress enough, make sure that you are doing this mode. The next mode that we have is practice mode. So what you watched the computer do in demo mode, now you're going to do in practice mode. The same exact steps. You will have audio and on-screen text prompts. And just like demo mode, regardless of how many mistakes you may make in practice mode, you will receive a grade of 100%. So again, if you do not feel comfortable after going through the demo and the practice modes only once, you do have the opportunity to go back and do them as many times as you wish. Now, if you perform a step incorrectly in practice mode, you will get a pop-up box with 3 options. Your first option allows you to try again, and this will let you just try the step again without any assistance. The second option is Yes, Show Help. It will actually put a red box around where you clicked and a green box around where you should have clicked. So at this point you can try again and make sure that you do get the step correct, or you can go on to the next step. And then your third option allows you to skip ahead to the next step, but you do not receive any feedback. I do not really advise using this step or this click in practice mode because, again, this is your opportunity to learn from your mistakes. So go back, try again, or let the computer show you what you did wrong, and then learn from your mistakes. So after practice mode, you do have test mode. So now you will test your knowledge by completing the same simulated prime suite task on your own. So what the computer did in demo mode, what you did with on-screen and audio text prompts in practice mode, now you're going to do on your own without any on-screen guidance. So this is where your book really comes into play. You want to follow along with the steps in your book because those on-screen text prompts that you saw in practice mode are the same steps that are typed in your book. Now, in test mode, you are scored based on the number of correctly completed steps. So if you do close out of the mode before clicking the right arrow at the opening screen, you do receive a 0. So make sure you keep that in mind. Now, each correctly completed step is worth 3 points. So if you perform a step incorrectly in test mode, and you click on try again and get that step correct, you receive 2 out of 3 points. If you have to click try again a second time and get it correct, then you receive 1 out of 3 points. After 3 attempts, your score is 0, and you will need to click on go on to the next step. If at any point you do decide to click on Yes, Show Help or go on to the next step, you do lose all points. But if you accept help, at least you see what the correct action should have been. So, we have now reviewed the phone number to the McGraw-Hill Help Desk, the required software, some quick tips for Greenway success, and we broke down the demo, practice, and test modes. I have included on the screen my email address as well as my phone number, also a URL to learn more about McGraw-Hill Guide to Success. I hope that you all found this presentation very informative, and I thank you all for being a part of UMA.